Hi Financial Math, this is day 5 of our in-class at home learning. So this is for March the 24th. So today we've got compound interest. So the formula I have written at the top of the page. So it's going to be A equals P times the quantity of 1 plus R divided by N, closed quantity, raised to the N times T power. So let's go through what all those letters mean. So A is going to be your final amount. So that's pretty much our answer. P is your starting amount. The R is the interest rate, and that is as a decimal, which I will show you in just a minute. N is the number of times the interest is applied, and then T is the number of time periods. So for number 1, Mike Miles deposits $6,500 in a new regular savings account that earns 6.5 interest compounded semi-annually. He made no other deposits or withdrawals. So then we're going to do A, what was the amount of the account at the end of the first year? What is the compound interest? What is the compound interest after 1.5 years? And then what is the amount? So I needed more space to show you the steps. So I went ahead and got this set up for us. Okay, so I'm doing that first problem. So again, if you want to use your own paper, that's absolutely fine. There's nothing on the back of that page, so you can use it. And you don't have to include, all of this step. Desmos.com, very helpful here, so I'm going to use it, okay, to kind of help me out. But there's my formula. So the 6,500 is how much he deposited. That's his starting amount. That's P. It earns 6.5% interest. Interest is always over 100. So I took 6.5 over 100, and that gave me the decimal 0.065, and that will be what I use for the R because that's the interest rate. The compounded semi-annually, that tells me how often that the interest is applied. So semi means half, like a semicircle, so half means twice. So 2 times a year, that's where I get N equals 2 because semi-annually is twice a year. Okay, so I have the N, the P, the R, and then part A says what's the amount in the account at the end of the first year. So the year is the T. So how long is the account going for? So we typically do that with years. So T will equal 1. So my formula, I've got A equals, the P is 6,500, parentheses 1 plus, the R was 0.065 over N, the N was 2, and then you got to raise it to the N times T, so that's 2 times, and then our T for this one is 1. So I put that in decimals, okay, so it's the top one. So I've got the 65, parentheses 1 plus. Now to get the fraction, I just use the divide. Okay, hold on, sorry. So to get this fraction, again, I just hit the divide. So I typed in 0.065 and then hit divide, and then it put it into a fraction. Then I was able to put my 2. Then I used that little up arrow, okay, the little caret. It's above the number 6. I used it to get the 2 times 1. Well, that gave me 6,929.5, or 365. That 5 rounds that 6 up to a 7. So that amount is what I'm going to put right here in this space. So again, that was 6,929.3, and then we rounded to 7. So that's how much is going to be in the account at the end of the first year. So what was the interest? Well, I'm just going to take that amount after the first year and subtract off what I started with. So when I do 6,929.37 and subtract off that 65,000, I did that in decimals also. I got 429.37. So 429.37 is the amount of interest. Okay, so that's how I do that. So for the second part, I almost did it backwards. So it wants to know after 1.5 years. Down here, it wants to know how much is the total amount. So I went ahead and did D first, but I'm going to go back to use C. The reason C is important because it gives me that 1.5. 1.5 is going to be a new T value of 1.5. So basically, I just knew that a half was the same thing as 0.5. You can do that in Desmos if you need to. Okay, and then I knew if it was 1.5, it'd be 1.5. So I redid. The equation is exactly the same. The only difference between this equation and that equation up there is the T value is now 1.5. So once you do this, you're going to get this value. Then you take this value, put it into part C, where you subtract off that starting amount. And that will get you your answer. Okay, so it works that way on the whole page. The only thing I do want to go over really quickly is the possible end values. So if it says that it's compounded yearly or annually, that's once a year, so the n will be 1. Semi-annually is going to be n equals 2, because again, semi is like half. Quarterly means how many quarters are in a dollar? 4. So quarterly means 4 times a year. And then finally, monthly, how many months are in a year? 12. So this right here, if it has these words, compounded monthly, compounded quarterly, then these are going to be your end values that you use, okay? All right, if you need any help, let me know, but good luck and you got this.